Oh, I did it too much.
Nice.
Hello.
Nice. Hi. Welcome to the stream that only exists because we wanted it to.
Yep. Yep. It's nothing to do with. Yep. I have no more
Nope.
words to say. That's all.
Unlike our regularly scheduled program on Tuesdays where we build D&D characters, today we just wanted to dress up as characters and talk about them. Welcome.
Welcome to our stream, anddragons.
Tee.
I'm Claire.
Okay, I was waiting for you to do that. I'm McKaylee. Hi.
Yeehaw, howdy doody. Yes.
Yes. I can tell already this is gonna be absolute fucking chaos.
Yeah.
We're starting off strong today.
Oh
boy.
If you are familiar with what we do normally, awesome. If you aren't, cool. But neither of them matter though, because we're doing something different today.
Yeah, nope.
I know that you already said it, McKaylee, but I started to say it again, and then I just went with it. So, yes, welcome.
You gotta follow it. Follow the thread all the way to the end, you know?
Oh, okay. So normally, what we do...
yeah, keep on.
Okay. Normally we build a, D&D character, and we roll... Level 3, and we roll for all of the aspects of the character creation because we love our dice, and, you know, decisions are... There's so many choices in D&D, like, God, it's so hard to make a decision on anything in general, but specifically D&D character creation, and then we make story and stuff, but this time, it's different. We're not doing that. What are we doing, McKaylee?
This whole week is different. Today, Monday, which is weird. Normally we stream on Tuesdays at this time. Today, on Monday, we're gonna be talking about two of our favorite characters that were the longest characters we ever played that had a great relationship.
It was spotless. Flawless.
So, you know, absolutely perfect. They were best friends, start to finish.
Yeah, just like us. They were basically us.
Just like us. They were basically. Which actually you can see some wonderful pictures of us in these outfits, actually, as these characters, taken by our lovely friend and my roommate, Mark the Spot on Instagram. So go to our About page and look at all our social medias. But yeah, we love these characters. They're wonderful characters, and we always go on tangents when we're building our characters on stream. We go on so many tangents just talking about these two characters and debating facts about the campaign that we decided to just dedicate a whole stream to talking about these characters, because maybe if we get it all off our chest, we'll stop talking about it so much on our actual streams. So nobody asked for this, but here we are.
Nope, nobody asked for it, but we're excited to be here nonetheless.
Yeah. Yes. For sure.
It's bound to be a time of sorts. Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over some disclaimers. Because my body says you go in this certain order every time, so you have to do it.
That's the order we normally go in.
But I'm gonna go a little off the cuff, maybe.
Oh no.
So, disclaimers. Do we need them?
Okay.
Maybe. Maybe we don't. Sometimes they're comfortable, so that's why, I don't know.
It's a safety blanket for us on the stream. Blanket.
Yes. Right. D&D, you know? It's a game, and there's a lot of types of stories in it. Sometimes they're a little sad And I will tell you, for these characters, some of their story is a little sad. So,
Just
get
a
ready.
little bit.
Just a little bit. So, beware
I feel like this is one of my saddest characters.
Yeah, no. It's nothing like that. There's I wanna say a little bit of a content warning. I think maybe before we talk about certain aspects, we might mention something. Nothing to be concerned about, but there's like just some things that we wanted to talk about that it was fun and exciting in game, but also like after we played certain aspects, we like had chats afterward and we're like, how are we all doing? Because that's kind of what happens when you play D&D is sometimes it gets a little intense, and it's important to
screaming at each other and crying, and then can't stop shaking after the session's over, and you all have to just talk.
It's important to make sure that that's like that's the character versus like the person. And so after a session, a lot of times we would just stay on our call and like just chat about other things, and make sure that everyone was good.
Yeah.
So just for the sake of saying it, that
maybe we'll go through some difficult things. Yeah.
Maybe we'll go through some difficult things. Who knows?
We're gonna try and keep this fun, but disclaimer.
Yeah. I don't know if
What?
We're not affiliated with the Wizards of the Coast. I have to say it. No, I don't.
We aren't doing, anything related.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Marshall.
Marshall, you subscribed again.
Amazing. Thank you. Welcome to the chaos already.
Yep.
That is.
I think that I think I'm gonna predict that that Marshall will always be here, and I think that's great.
Yeah. Marshall's our one constant, and you know what?
True.
We love you for it, Marshall. We appreciate you so much.
And
we'll do a transition just for you.
Oh, I have it prepped. Oh man, McKaylee, you've turned into a cardboard cutout. I love a good. Oh, there she is. Back once again. Did you hear what I said?
That I turned into a cardboard cutout?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I don't know what that means or what that looks like, but I love it.
You just looked kind of two-dimensional in the way that you froze. I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
I know you're on my screen. I know that that's the situation. So.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great time. It's a great time.
It is totally the best time. Yeah. Right. We might curse. That's all.
That's the last one. Yes.
That is
Marshall, we're just glad always to have you whenever you're able to.
Yeah, it's not a requirement in any sense, but it's always fun when you are here.
Yes. We appreciate it always.
Yes. Yes, we might curse.
I think I've already cursed like 5 times. I realized right off the bat in like one of the first sentences I said fuck, and I was like, man, we haven't even gotten to disclaimers yet. But already going for the big ones. Go big or go home, man.
Yep.
Are we ready to get started?
Yeah. Do you wanna?
I have so much to say.
The past hour we've spent talking about these characters and then being like, wait, hold on, stop, cut it out. But
yeah.
Transition?
Not yet.
Is that what we're doing?
Transition? Yes, sure. Let's transition.
I have so much power in this moment.
You do. I have no I I don't have anything to do.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. And transition.
Why is this so long? Claire, did we finish? Are we done?
Okay.
Oh my god. Claire! I hope that was a good transition you approve of, Marshall, because goddamn.
Yeah.
We transitioned to nowhere. Welcome back.
No, we've transitioned into the start of the show.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're going to try, and we talked about how we want to do this. A little bit. But also, this is probably going to be just a whole episode of tangents.
Yes.
So, to start, I'm going to talk about my character. Well, should we introduce ourselves? Let's just introduce who our characters are. Let our race and their name.
Hello?
Hello, am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say we should just introduce our characters and then we'll go in the order. Just your name, your race, your class, and your background.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, you can go. Do you
So
want to go
I'll
first?
go. So yeah, my character, her name is she's still out there. Her name is Sven Dwinnell. She is a charlatan swashbuckler rogue human. I played a human for a whole ass campaign. It was a great time. Great times. Who are you, Claire? Who are you dressed up as?
Oh, yes. My character, you're right. I was about to say was.
You just say was.
But they're still around, I'd like to think.
They're still out there. But we could play them again. We only made it up to level 10.
Yeah. No, my character that I played for this campaign was Elora Phelan, which, after thinking about it, Phelan, anything Fae in an elven ancestry is very common, and my brain was like, but it's pretty.
It's pretty. I like names with Fae in it. I have a lot of characters that have Fae in their names. It's cute.
But yeah, so she was a Circle of the Moon druid, an elf, and I think a high elf, if I'm remembering correctly.
So.
And she was an outlander, which, if I'm remembering characters correctly, I feel like the default for me for background has always been outlander.
It's a good one.
Until we started doing this, because it's just like an easy one to be like, oh, I'm an adventurer, so I travel around. I travel, but this one it does make sense with the backstory, which we'll get into those in a second.
I definitely should have picked a different background, but I didn't know a lot about. I guess let me get into Sven.
Well, before
how I built her. No.
Before we get into that though, this was for a Curse of Strahd campaign, so spoiler warning on Curse of Strahd.
We're gonna try and stay away from big stuff and mostly just talk about things relating to our characters specifically.
Yeah, but just a little, just in case.
A little bit. Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Okay. So Sven, my character, Sven Dwinnell, was the first character I built completely by myself. Like, I had absolutely no outside help, and I was so fucking nervous because I It, yeah, I like that, Marshall. Yeah, they're still out there doing things. I'm just not like currently like portraying them. But yeah, she's still out there, which we'll get to what they're up to. Um, but she was created. This whole campaign actually was created. Marshall would remember probably. We were all part of a theater org with our university, and we were putting on a student-written play about Dungeons and Dragons. And I was one of the leads in the play. I was playing a character. Amazing. I was playing, so it was a whole play about how like these kids playing like Dungeons and Dragons. Kids, they're like our age, like 20s. They got like sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, and so my like one of the only lines I remembered was because we never got to finish that because COVID happened. But we started this group with people from the show, and my character, I said like we were introducing our characters, and I said the name Sven Dwinnell. I am a human pirate, I think. No, I'm a human. I'm wearing a leather pirate outfit and a red bandana, and I tied a red bandana around my head. And so I joined this group 2 hours before the first session when they were about to play and like start the campaign. And the DM was like, I mean, just build a character and send it to me. And so I had 2 hours to build a character, and I was like, I'll just fucking do the one from the show. There's no more information about what that character was except for the name Sven Dwinnell, human pirate. And so I built that as quickly as possible and sent it in, and it turned out to be a charlatan rogue swashbuckler, which was really very fun. I enjoyed her a lot. I rolled for all my like ability scores and shit, because that's what my other group did, and I wasn't told by the DM what to do, so I just rolled for it. And I didn't like fully know at the time what anything meant, and somehow I realized this later that I'd been playing her so very like from how we're built. She's a 16 intelligence. I think I cut out. I'm back. Okay.
You are.
Hello?
I mean, your voice is here, but now you're here. Now you're good. Repeat the thing that you didn't get.
Nice. The thing I didn't get. Oh, I didn't fully understand how I'm cutting in now. Okay, I didn't fully understand how ability scores worked when I built her. I like knew how they worked, but I was still figuring it out. And yeah, she's a 16 in intelligence, and I did not play her like that. She was dumb as shit. But damn, she was smart on paper.
Yeah.
So smart on paper, dumb in the head. Yeah,
so
wonderful character though. But yeah, that's how I built my character.
So you built the like mechanics of the character because you had 2 hours, and then you didn't really
I didn't know
stuff,
who
right?
she was. Yeah, I didn't really write out, like, for the first session, I didn't write out backstory stuff or anything. And we were doing Discord audio chat, actually, the first time we played it. Because it wasn't until you joined that you were like, hey, we should get them to change so we play over Zoom. Because Claire wasn't in the first couple sessions of that group. But for that first session, we were doing just audio, and I'd never played in like a distance group or whatever. And we got to the first thing where our DM was like, okay, you're up at a door, like, who's gonna knock first? And I was like, we're all like sitting there silently, and I was like, maybe I'll just make my character like a cocky bitch, and she's just gonna go and like be first. And that's her whole personality was built off of that one decision where I was like, I'm gonna go knock first. And the lady was like, do you have an invitation? And I was like, no, but I should be here. And I like barged in. Like, I was like, fuck you. And that became who my character Sven was because nobody spoke up. And like, I was like, now she's cocky. And then after that session was when I started working on her backstory. That is It's a lot.
Yeah.
She has a great backstory.
And I feel like that's like pretty common too. I feel like to play the character first and then figure out the backstory. And I know that we tend to build the backstory like when we build the character, but there's no right or wrong way to do it, which I think is great. Because sometimes things change when you start playing too. Like you don't know the vibes until you like interact with the group and sort of are in the world a bit.
I mean, we know that from building your character.
Yeah. So great segue, McKaylee. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm amazing. I'm amazing at segues.
Yeah. So I don't know how many sessions y'all played before I joined.
I think we played like 5 or 6. Like we made it. Yeah. So this was Curse of Strahd. We made it through the entire Death House.
I didn't experience the Death House.
Claire did not go through the Death House. What a time. What a time that was.
I would love to play it. I would love to almost die in the Death House. That would be great. I would be so excited.
We did have one session. I just have to share this. I've been going through all my shit from this, like, from our campaign. Like, all my olds. I've been digging through everything, my binder. And one of the things I found was from Death House, our warlock almost died. And I know he looks like One Punch Man, don't at me. But, like, I made a little comic of how he was almost murdered by a broom. It was a really great time. It was a broom.
McKaylee was our dedicated note taker for that campaign. Absolutely, by far.
I had so fucking amazing. And I was telling Claire, I'm real mad about this. I left my notebook back in San Antonio when I moved out to LA. But I have a notebook. It was like a nice little notebook. It had color-coded tabs. And the back of the book, I wrote down the name of every NPC that we met. And then I wrote down like a quick little description and then like highlighted them so that I could go and like, I wrote down page numbers because I numbered all my pages in my notebook. I wrote down page numbers where that NPC shows up. It was like super fucking, it was the best notes I've ever taken for a campaign. And I drew pictures and things. I have a couple of them. I was like really dedicated. The best. I was a great note taker. Not to my own.
Very good. Very good. It led to some fun theories towards the end, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, you tell about how you built Elora.
Yeah, so I had been talking to McKaylee about possibly joining this campaign, even though there was quite a few people. It like narrowed down towards the end, but it started with a good amount of people.
Yeah, it started with like 8 of us, I think. Something like it was a big group. Yeah. But then we started to lose people and it ended up with 6.
6?
Yeah, no, there were 4 It ended with 4 players, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for following us, friend. We got a cute little bee emote thingy. Emote? Nope, it's not an emote. It's a
Nope.
Alert. It's an alert. It's
Yep, an alert. We know what we're doing. We're great at this. We're Twitch.
Yeah. We're streamers. Am I right? No. But
okay,
yeah,
continue.
No, it was kind of a larger campaign, but some other campaigns we were in were kind of slowing down, and it was also the very beginning of COVID, and I lived by myself in an apartment back then. And listen, you can only live by yourself without seeing people for so long before you start to feel like just like you talking to so many people and things, and they're not there, and you need people in your life. So I was like, maybe I should join this campaign.
Yeah. No, and it was good. I mean, I was glad to have you also, because I felt a little overpowered by all the guys.
Oh, yes. That's
I needed another girl in the group.
Yeah, so McKaylee and I were talking about if I were to join what, like, just like character thoughts and that sort of thing. And one of the first things we were like, oh, we should make our characters like best friends, like we're best friends, our characters can be best friends, and then like I can help Michaela, like, I can help you build your character, and then we can like talk about like the backstory and stuff, and maybe like
because I think what happened was, sorry, I had already told you my whole backstory, so I was like,
yes,
I wouldn't tell you that unless we were best friends. So that's where it like,
yeah, so
I was really
I was like, oh, we'll just say that it is, and then it'll be right. So I also built my character in a short amount of time, but it was like more like a day, I think, instead of just a couple hours.
Yeah.
I am looking at my character sheet, and you have my original character sheet, right, Michaela?
I do, because I wrote down Claire's original sheet to help build. It was a good time.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now. It's great.
Because I didn't have a printer, and I didn't have anywhere to. I was just like, I don't have spare character sheets on me, and I didn't think about the fact that you can Google character sheets, and there are like ones where it's like a PDF that you can enter in the information. Didn't think about that. Didn't know about that, but that's a cool resource that's out there if you don't want to do like the
printing
D&D Beyond, or if you don't want to do like a paper sheet, there's like the PDF ones where you can like clickety clack all that information in there. I said hi in chat just a second ago, but I didn't. Hello, welcome. We're talking about two characters that we played in a Curse of Strahd game that we talk about too much. No, not too much. We talk about a lot when we do our regular stream when we're building D&D characters.
Which our regular stream is on Tuesdays. Join us on Tuesdays.
Yeah, so this one is a character chat stream where we're just going to talk about these characters. And
it's mostly for our own amusement, but y'all can hang out too if you want to.
Yeah, feel free to just hear the fucking shenanigans and shit. But yeah, no, I wasn't sure. I was trying to think how to this, because they had been playing for a couple times, and I guess also Curse of Strahd spoiler warning, I guess, I don't know. But I think most of the beginnings, it's like you are outside of Barovia, and then somebody brings you in together, right?
For us, it was like half, like one session we were not in Barovia, and then for the rest of the campaign, you're in Barovia.
Right, so they were already in Barovia, and so I was like, well, why am I here? How did I don't know. So I kind of, I don't think I wrote too much backstory before. I kind of wrote a little bit, like little pieces of like why I might be there, like really thin, but I did have some sort of storyline, which I don't know if I'll wait to go into that unless Michaela thinks I should say that now.
I do have a quick question because I'm looking at your original character sheet and I was looking at your bond. What is your like bond that you finalized on? Because this is very different from what your backstory is.
Yeah. So my bond,
like what your original
my Outlander bond that I picked was, I will bring terrible wrath on the evildoers who destroyed my homeland. Is that the same one? That's
the same one. That's definitely not what your backstory is.
Yeah, no, I and this is also
so different.
I do feel like it's a little, I feel like I justified it in the way I like, it's that the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws, you can use them or not. I feel like I used half of mine, and I kind of used
the bottom
other
half
ones.
You did not. The bottom half, no.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Her flaw, this Elora character who was a stuck up, she's a stick up her ass. Her flaw is there's no room for caution in a life lived to the fullest. That is not how Elora was.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna talk about my backstory now because I feel like I have to justify myself. So okay.
Okay.
I was like, why am I in fucking Barovia, by myself? Because we had decided that, I was at the camp with the fortune teller. Like, I was at the same camp as them. That's kind of what we decided. And then later I kind of walked through, like, why I had gotten there.
Which we almost walked right by that camp. We were like, we don't want to go. It sounds sketchy.
But it was so important. It's so important to talk to the lady.
Important. We were not trusting anyone. It was a time.
Right. But, okay. So, I had decided that, I don't know how much of this is typical, but I think all character stories can be considered typical because it's almost impossible to write an original story, you know? Like, it's not really...
You just draw inspiration.
If this feels like another story, it probably is. It probably is. I don't know. That's what happens when you consume media and shit, and then you try to write your own thing. I decided that she was part of a like traveling like tribe of druids, and that her two dads were one of them was like the main guy of the tribe, like the main person. And that they traveled in the woods a lot, and that she had two brothers, right? And also exactly, Marshall. You're probably never gonna like use the things, but I mean it's kind of helpful for when you're just scratching shit together or whatever, sewing it together.
I will say I use mine very well. I'll read them in a bit, but mine were accurate.
I still think mine were accurate, but I
keep going. Explain.
I will get there. I promise you so much. Okay. Okay, so she had a younger brother and an older brother. Older brother, much older. Also, they're elves and they live for fucking ever. So the time span in my brain is like the regular human time span, but considering the elf years is, I think it was longer than.
Can I ask? Yeah. How old is Elora, or was?
I thought that
at the start of the campaign.
I thought she was like 120 or so. Yeah, right? Isn't that wild? Because it's like what the
time.
But for her that would be still pretty young, you know?
Yeah.
It's me too. Me too. I don't use them that much.
I like as jumping off points. Plus, I have a DM that I play with that gives you inspiration for adhering to your like personality traits, wants and flaws.
Okay.
So it's like if you do something like super drastic, but it fits in with one of those, he gives you inspiration. So it's kind of like
cool.
For those campaigns specifically, I'm like I need to.
Right.
But yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. I've never played with anyone that uses inspiration, and it kind of makes me a little sad. I want to use. That's like a thing that a lot of people don't use, and I want to play in a game where people use it.
I currently have inspiration, and in that campaign for punching one of the other PCs in the face, and it was valid. It was a valid move, and he was like, "Take inspiration for that." And I still haven't used it because I've never gotten inspiration before, and I don't know when to use it. I'm like so nervous about it, but it's fun. I like the concept of it because it makes me want to do more role play things.
Yes. But Cardboard McKaylee is back.
I don't want to say anything because I'm nervous that it's gonna come out all bad, so I'm just not talking. Can you hear any of that?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your image is a little skippity doo dah.
Yay! You keep talking about
that's right. That's true.
Elora's backstory, because you were that. Let me fix my voice again real quick.
Okay. I don't want to go too much depth because that feels intense. But basically, her elder brother was like, I'm not a druid. I'm not, so I'm gonna go figure out what I am. And then he left, and I named him Eldrin without realizing that Eladrin are just there. They just exist. I didn't know that though, so I feel great with smiling cardboard cutout McKaylee, and I wonder if she will blip out because, yep, amazing. I am a predictor of the future. I feel wonderful, and she's back now. Yeah, that I think it would be cool. It would be cool to have inspiration if it's like frequent and not frequent, but if it's like balanced. If the flow of getting inspiration is consistent and that sort of thing.
Mm.
She is the most supportive co-host, just smiling forever. Thank you. That was very good. I agree. I was getting a little intimidated by the fact that it was just the one just same unblinking. It was supportive, but I was nervous.
Am I back? Am I good
Yeah,
now?
you're back.
Should I switch
you're a little
back.
Your image is, I don't know, your image is a little skippy, but it's okay.
It's real bad on my end too. This is a great time, y'all. We love Wi-Fi.
Yep. Okay. Do I keep going?
Keep going. I don't know what happened. Keep going.
Right. Her elder brother, Eldrin.
Elder spells?
Literally that's what I think of too. I don't know. My brain said it has to be an EL name. There's no reason.
Nope.
But I had a you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. It's very true. And the beholder in all of our hearts.
Yes. Oh, the mom boss beholder that runs the child child of mine.
Yeah. In the world that we're building, all of the D&D characters we make regularly on Tuesdays, there's a mob boss beholder, similar to that book, but not only is it a mob boss beholder, but it's a minor mob boss beholder.
He owns a mine built off the labor of child slaves.
Yes, because he's seeking a ancient library that might be in the ground. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. This is your quick advertisement to watch our streams on Tuesday. For more of that content.
Actually, tomorrow isn't a regular character building stream. Tomorrow is a one shot. Where McKaylee's gonna DM, and I will be one of the characters that we have created.
Yep. It's gonna be great. It's gonna totally go perfectly.
Perfect. Absolutely. It was be fine.
Amazing, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, y'all.
It's gonna be great. But yeah, so Elora's older brother, right? This guy taught her how to do the wild shape stuff, which is why she's the circle of the moon, is what I justified that. But one of the things things he did was like something with the butterfly. Just like he would send her butterflies. This is one of those story things that doesn't have a mechanic that I was like, hey, I would like for her brother to send her butterflies. And the DM was like, okay, cool, it's backstory. Sick. And so he left and would send her butterflies every so often. She was like, ah, sick. He's okay. Butterflies? He's okay. But eventually the butterflies stopped coming. And she was like, huh? This is... I'm doing this in the most sarcastic way possible for no reason.
I know, like, this is a very interesting way to describe this backstory.
Listen, I don't want to go...
For
I have
Elora.
so much detail. I have so much detail, but I don't want to...
You do! You should go into it!
Do you want me to read... Do you want me to read my essay backstory? I can't tell what... I can't tell what... You didn't say anything. You just look like... You're looking eagerly at me.
I said yes, because then I can read mine. Mine's not an essay, it's a paragraph, but
oh my god. McKaylee, mine is so long.
Okay, maybe just do the highlight point.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'll look at it a little more closely. I'll look at it a little bit more. I'll do a little more detail.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me okay, we're going to I'm going to rewind a little bit. So I can go a little bit more detail. Okay. 2 dads. We've got Aaron and Ardrith. They're good dads, the best dads in the world. They're super cool, dope, wonderful parents, not dead. McKaylee.
Not dead.
Not dead.
Hey, my parents aren't dead in this. Sven's parents are still alive, probably, maybe. She doesn't know.
But they suck.
Hey, her mom didn't do anything.
Yeah, she doesn't have a mom. She's got 2 dads, that's it.
Anyway. My mom didn't do anything. That's all. She just didn't do
also
anything.
bad, McKaylee, but... Okay.
Okay, 2 dads, they're amazing.
Yes, Elora has an older brother, Eldrin, and a younger brother, Galen. Older brother, wise, patient, responsible. Elora, chaotic.
Straight and narrow.
And good. At this point, she's chaotic and good. And silly and dumb. This is her as a child. And then her youngest brother, Galen, is like a kid, you know? Full of energy and joy and happiness and all that. This is important for a later thing. McKaylee knows. So, this is her family dynamic, right? Happy family dynamic. Eldrin decides to leave because he wants to better understand his place in the world, so he goes and leaves the tribe, but he sends her butterflies every so often to let her know he's okay, like a letter sort of thing, but they're butterflies. And I think I had decided that he was supposed to be gone for several years, because I thought about the fact that their lives are so long as elves that would make sense. And if you're gonna go find yourself in the world, like, of course you might take a couple years. Yeah. So he's gone, and then around the time when he's supposed to be back, he stops sending. The butterflies stop. There are no more. And this is something that I used when I played Elora, but the fact that she's really in tune with, like, the earth and, like, in tune with nature, as many druids are. But I decided that when the butterflies stopped, she could also kind of feel that there was something wrong, like that he wasn't nearby, and that the butterflies kind of were that indication for her. So, because this is a chaotic good character, as she started at least. I decided that she wouldn't have told anyone. She just decided to go and find him. So that's why she left to look for him. So she's like looking for him and traveling to the places that he planned to go and just like traveling around, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of just following intuition. After going to the places she knew he would be and not finding leads, she just kind of I thought that she would just let her fucking heart guide her, you know?
Oh man.
And that, yeah. But this is, yeah, so she's much more like lighthearted at this point in her backstory. The throw all caution to the wind, that's where that comes from. There's a distinct change in the backstory right up until I played her that changed that intentionally. But I used that flaw, the caution thing, in my backstory and in my background. Because it was Outlander background.
Yeah.
So that's where that showed up for me. I didn't use it as much when I started playing, but there's in Barovia, right? There's the
when we met her,
country.
That's not who she was.
Right. Yeah, no, she wasn't like that when the party met her. But Barovia is, surrounded by this fog that you can't leave, right? So knowing that Elora was like in tune with the earth, I decided that she felt like some sort of indication from Eldrin in this direction, and she couldn't tell but as she got closer, she couldn't tell if the fog was the disconcerting feeling, or if Eldrin was in there, or if Eldrin was like different direction, but like along there. And this is something that I like to do in my backstories. I like to have like nuggets for the DM. If they want to use it, they can, or they don't have to use it. This is one of those, because I kind of implied that Eldrin could have not been in Barovia, or Eldrin could have stumbled into Barovia. It could go either way.
Yeah, but up to the DM's discretion.
Right. So, she thought that maybe he was in the fog, because it was so sad feeling and like really strong bad vibes, and so she went into the fog, and because of the like nature thing and Barovia being like a dead place, like the ground and everything is dead, she immediately felt like nauseous and like shit, and was like, oh, this wrong way, bad idea. Let me just book it back. So she turns around and tries to fucking leave, but we all know that you can't do that.
You can't leave Barovia. Once in
Barovia,
so she
gets like Barovia. I don't know what the mechanic is, but she gets like poisoned or knocked out or not murdered, but like close to death maybe. I don't know. And yeah, so she fucking passes the fuck out, and the two people find her, which should I keep going? I feel like I've been talking so long, Michaela.
I mean, up to you, man. I guess you gotta get up to where you start the campaign.
I'm so sorry, my backstory is so freaking long. I just love stories. I mean, they're so fun.
The longer you go into your backstory, the longer I can go into mine, and we all know mine's great.
Right, that's true. I'm skipping so much shit. Not really, just the flavor of the words. So, she wakes up and there's these two guys. And this is funny to me because the DM did a really cool thing where we got to explore our backstories at a certain point in the game because of it was like a backstory arc. It was really cool. She did a dope job with that. Always bring your players' backstories into game if you can, because
it makes it fun. It connects you to the world.
It makes it fun, and it's nice to know that like the story you're building is being seen, and it's just so cool. So it's funny though because the DM played these characters. My interpretation of them, so different than her interpretation of them, but it still worked really well.
I liked the way it was played. Yeah.
I liked the way it was played too, but when I was originally writing them, I was like, oh, these people are like this. Absolutely, I love it. Backstory nuggets, they're my freaking favorite.
It's literally.
This is the next nugget. This nugget is a gold nugget. Can I just say it? Literally.
God.
So
it changed the whole campaign.
It did change a lot more than I thought it would.
A lot. So, it's why the whole party almost killed each other. We almost killed each other over this. Your like this backstory nugget you gave the DM. Continue.
Right. So these two guys. We've got. God, I feel so dorky saying all their names, but I don't care. Okay, so one of them was Kevin, and one of them was Adrian.
Oh.
I
Kevin.
know.
I forgot what his name was. Name was.
Kevin is like fantasy Kevin. That someone in our group said that Kevin, you mean like Kevin? And I was like,
Kevin?
Oh, fantasy Kevin.
Ah, fantasy.
Kevin. It's
fantasy Kevin. Come on. God, I love
it was so good. So I decided Kevin was a warlock and Adrian was a human rogue. It's not like we've met one of those before.
Let's go, human rogue.
So those two were in Barovia for the same reason that the party was in Barovia, to help overthrow the guy.
Kind of like tricked into it. We were kind of tricked into helping overthrow Strahd.
Yeah, tricked into helping overthrow Strahd. So they were in a party as well, but they broke off from their original party, and were just wandering around trying to figure out how to leave. And they came upon my lovely character, Elora, fucking passed out and shit. I love you guys, I love doing things, with the nuggets and stuff, but I love doing things that my character doesn't know. I write things that my character doesn't know into my backstory. Not because...
Your backstories are so detailed.
It's not because I don't expect the DM to do anything. That's not why. I just like the idea of me, Claire, knowing something that my character doesn't know. And I just and I'm thinking about this character so much. If anything, maybe it's helpful for a DM to have like these possible opportunities, because as a DM you have so many things to keep track of, and so many so like might as well write it down, and if somebody else if the DM wants to use it, they can. But the nugget that I wrote, I don't know if I think I told you this, McKaylee, but they ran into Rictavio.
You did, because you did end up, because we ran into, Rictavio's an NPC, we won't get too much into it for spoilers, but he's an NPC that we ran into, and Elora, your character, was like, hey, we've met before, or they've met.
There was a, so, kind of, but those two had interacted with him previously, and we ended up, there was a mechanic that the DM gave us because of this thing, but yeah, so they had run into him, and he had, given them some advice about existing as a non-Barovian person in Barovia, like low profile, that sort of thing. So they were trying to just like walk around trying to find an opening in the fog when they came across my character. And when Elora was like, oh, so I'm stuck here now. Okay, cool, sick, nice. I guess I'll travel with you people because you seem nice. So she traveled with them, um, I said that they did a lot of like low key research, like just talking to people, not really angering anyone or doing anything shady, just like existing as people and like maybe trying to get information in the most subtle and slow way possible. I don't know. So let's see. My character, this fucking backstory is so long, y'all.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
It's getting there. Okay. So, personality-wise, Elora and Kevin were very similar. And kind of got some, like, romantic relation sort of thing. I didn't really define it because I didn't feel like specifically defining it. I didn't feel like it was super necessary. But
we did have an in-character conversation where we determined that they did have sex.
Yeah, we did do that.
That was a great conversation.
It was really, it was a great
fun time.
But yeah, so we you kept
going, I didn't think you heard, and then you stopped, and I was like, oh wait, that was here. Never mind.
But yeah, so
but that's why we had the conversation.
They were fucking doing romance and shit, and then Adrian's just existing and not having a good
wheel.
Not doing well, to the point where he just like yelled out into the woods that he wanted to fight Strahd, despite the fact that they were trying to keep a like low profile and shit. And you know, Strahd's like watching everybody. Mm-hmm. Like for I don't know if that's a character like trait that's like written down somewhere, but in our campaign, Strahd was just like watching everybody, and like he showed up.
What was going on at all.
Yeah. So trying to remember. Right. So something that's notable is that Kevin's patron as a warlock is Hearsome. So we'll come in later.
What a guy.
What
a guy.
So, God. Kevin like goes off into the woods, right, to talk to Hearsome, supposedly. But something else appears, and when Kevin comes back, he doesn't look the same. Something is very clearly wrong with this person. Strahd is fucking fantasy Voldemort.
Wait, so is Voldemort real? Because if Strahd is fantasy Voldemort, that implies that Voldemort is reality Voldemort.
Yes.
So,
are you
just connecting the dots?
Are you a Muggle, McKaylee? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You know, I don't have magic. I wish I did. I'm just a human. I'm a human without magic. Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
All the time.
That's what my character was. This campaign was a fucking human without magic, and all y'all were out there like, I do magic with my mind, and I do magic with nature, and I play a note, and it makes magic.
It makes magic.
And I was like, I got a sword. And it's pointy. I stab people.
I was
fucking good at it too. Okay, finish your. So fantasy Voldemort comes.
Yeah, well, he does something to Kevin, and then Kevin's like not looking right.
Okay.
I think mechanically he was charmed and bitten and shit. Mm-hmm. You know, the typical vampire disaster, whatever.
3 times.
And vampires. then I'm sad reviewing this. Then Elora and Adrian had to fight Kevin, and Kevin killed Adrian, and then Elora had to kill Kevin. Elora had to kill Kevin. It's sad, and I'm smiling because otherwise it's too sad.
Yeah.
And that is where she loses her caution thing, the no caution. I think the whole time being in Barovia is where she loses the like no caution thing, because she had to like exist with caution everywhere. So that's why.
But then she learned that if you tempt fate, you'll get fucking killed. So
yeah, and then she had to kill Kevin. Doo-ba-da-ba-doo. And I said that she took his pendant from his patron and like his notes. She took his journal, which has all of the note. Like our DM gifted us with advantage on history rolls for things in Barovia, because I had asked if I could have a journal of notes that he had taken while researching things in Barovia, and our DM was like, "Yes, you can. That's fine."
It's all good.
It was sort of useful. At times, I think it was nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went into some detail. I went into some detail about that fight, but I won't go into it now. It's all sad. I could tell you that. It's all sad. But yeah, then she was just in wild shape a lot in Barovia, in the sad place, for a couple weeks, and then she was in the Vistani camp, and that's where the party came. And like, I think it was basically like my character was sitting, and then the party came, and then we were like, oh, smash, all right, let's go together.
Let's go. Well, we were like, hey, we're traveling, like, do you want to travel with us? I don't know.
I just kind of was like, yeah,
and sure, okay. I don't have anywhere else to be.
McKaylee and I decided that our characters were going to be best friends.
Yes. At that point, I had my whole backstory, and I had gone through a lot with that character. Can I go through my backstory now?
Yes. God, I've talked so much. Please, God, say your backstory, McKaylee.
Okay. So Sven's backstory started with one thing, and then it was really funny. I'll go through, but then I built out the whole leading up to that. So, and then the funny thing happened in the next session where it was like, oh, hey, what a time. Where I kidnapped a kid. Yes. Okay. So I really like Sven's backstory. So Sven Dwinnell, my character, human. I guess I didn't I have a timeline that I mapped out of everything from 6 years old to current age, which current age, like first day in Barovia, she was 28 years old.
Did I know that?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
She's a little older, and most of my characters I always have like 20 to 24. She's the oldest character, human years, human timeline wise I've ever played. But the first thing I decided was the last thing that happens to her before Barovia. But I'm gonna go chronological order. So Sven was the child of two just regular ass human people in a port town. She doesn't know her parents' names. She doesn't know her real last name. She just knows her name is Sven, as gifted by her parents. Maybe I decided that she picked her own name. I don't remember. I don't remember. Yeah, I never really specified that, but so her parents were terrible. Super just neglectful and shit, and her dad was a serious gambler. he was like crazy into gambling, but always lost. Like we were always in debt. He was always drinking a lot, and that's like all of her like formative years. That's what she remembers, up until the age of 6, when
just sad warning, sad story warning, traumatic backstory warning.
I don't know. I'm laughing. I'm only laughing because everybody like makes fun of me about how tragic this character is.
Well, because
so at the age of 6,
McKaylee wasn't planning to tell anyone any of this, and then our DM hit us with that backstory arc, and
my character was fine.
Everything.
My character was, so one of her traits is, because I did the charlatan and I took traits from the charlatan background. Her personality trait is sarcasm and insults are my weapon of choice. She's a free spirit. No one tells her what to do. Yeah, she's just like super like, you know, she's lived life. That's like, she's in the moment. She was always getting drunk and shit and just like having a party, having a ball. The past doesn't matter. Not going to think about it. And then the DM was like, hey, I'm going to throw you in this fog that's going to make you relive your entire terrible backstory. And the entire party is also going to see it. And so we got out of the fog and everyone was like, hey, Sven, are you okay? And she had to be like, oh, shit. Now I got to talk about my feeling. No, she did not talk about her feeling. Talking? Feelings? No, she didn't do that. Anyway. Age of 6, her dad, super terrible gambler. He gets into this really like high stakes game with a captain of a ship, Captain Aelwan. And having nothing left to bet, he bets Sven.
Terrible.
And he loses.
6-year-old child. Fucking terrible.
So, yes, so then I was taken onto a ship. The ship was called the Rough Diamond, actually. It was an explorer ship. There were 3 other kids, actually, that were also there as part, like, also in similar situation to Sven, paying off debts or whatever, just like orphans that they kind of just picked up. It was 2 half-orc brothers and a tiefling boy. Yeah, everybody sucked. The captain was like looking for a way to live forever, so they were kind of just taking us like all over, and we were just there to kind of like clean the ship and like do whatever they needed. It was a time. And then at the age of like 8 3/4, she ended up on the Ocean's Tainted, which is another ship, which was a pirate ship. And that's where she like really got into like pirating stuff. That she was there for like a year and some change, and then ended up on a couple other ships. She just kind of traded off a bunch of ships for a while. I have all their names written down and how long she was there. But she traveled from like ship to ship, kind of just like doing different things, mostly just like little slave child. You know, learning what she can. And then she ended up on the Dark Star for a while. I don't know if anybody was on TikTok, on the LGBTQ side of TikTok had a wonderful time beginning of quarantine, summer during quarantine, which was one of the high points of when I was playing this character who is pansexual. She fucked anybody and everybody. But during that time, a thing called the pirates was a time, which was bisexual pirates, because I guess a bunch of bisexual people realized they had pirate outfits, and hey, guess what, I'm a bisexual person and I have a pirate outfit. And their ship was there was a whole fantasy, there was a whole like role play thing to it where the ship was called the Dark Star. And so I built it into my D&D character's backstory, where she was on that ship for a while, and it was her favorite ship that she'd been on. Yeah. But then she ended up on the Broken Queen, which is where she met, at the age, she was like 16. She met a guy named Francis, Francis Dwinnell, who was
I forgot that part.
Yeah. So she traveled a bunch of ships for most of her younger years, and then 16 she ended up on the Broken Queen, met a guy named Francis. They fell in love. They ended up leading a mutiny on the ship. He took over and became captain with her as his first mate. And they stayed like that for like 2 years. And then we got attacked by pirates, and he died in front of her.
Woo!
Yeah. And they just kind of took her and threw her at the nearest island, the nearest port town, and just left her there, which the town was Midbury. And she stayed there for the next couple of years. I think it's in the D&D world. I don't remember where I got the name. Honestly, that's just a port town.
I didn't realize until after, or I guess until partway when we were playing Strahd, because the previous games we've played were not written. Like,
they were not worlds.
Books. They were homebrew worlds. I didn't realize the mass amount of locations and settings.
Yeah.
And I think one of the people in our party was saying that they were talking about where Barovia kind of exists, like near what things. And I just remember being on a call with you, building my backstory, and being like, I'm gonna just not say the name of anything.
Yeah, just not gonna do it.
She goes to some places. She's in the woods, and then she likes the woods.
And then she's not.
And then she's in Barovia. I don't.
Yeah.
But Barovia. I'm sure there would have been some really cool, like, locations I could have plugged in,
Yeah. Yeah. Curse of Strahd's a weird one just because, like, you're stuck in a country that exists outside of the rest of Faerun.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter where you're from. You're all there. So
yeah.
that was a time. So I don't know where Midbury is. I don't remember if it's a part of Faerun or not. If it is, it's like probably just like a dot on the map. Like it wasn't a place really you're like from. It's just
not
a place you ended up.
Not super important to
No. But she was there for a while. Just kind of getting drunk and having lots of sex. Is what I determined. I have this actually all written out somewhere. I wrote this out in a text. With our DM. But yeah, then she was a barmaid for a while at a place called the Lucky Bat Tavern and Inn, and this was, let me count, 2 years after Francis died. She'd taken on the name Dwinnell. So her name at that point was then officially Sven Dwinnell. And she ended up realizing she was pregnant, but she didn't know who the baby daddy was. So she raised a child on her own. Her beautiful baby girl, Francine. That's where I started this backstory, was with Francine, and I have a whole thing about her. Yeah, I gave birth to her. I gave birth to her by myself. Sven gave birth to a child by herself. She didn't have any midwife. It was just like she's had a terrible life. That's all.
Yep.
But her baby was very wonderful, and she really loved her child. They lived together in a like small shack on the edge of town for 6 years. And then one day,
sad story warning. Sad story warning. Trauma
This is the first thing I built for this character, and it's like the only thing I have like officially written out in her backstory stuff. So anyway, her child was like 6 years old. They were in the marketplace, and Sven got into an argument with somebody because Sven's a dumb bitch. And she wasn't paying attention to her child because also canonically she's a shit mom. She loves her child, her children. She's just real bad at being a mom.
Yep.
But she wasn't paying attention, and Francine wandered off. When she finally noticed, she followed like her footsteps into the woods nearby, and it led into a clearing. In the center of that clearing, there was a man with like wizard robes and attire, holding a bloody dagger, and at his feet was Francine with a slit across her throat, dead. And when she charged at him, he just kind of like looked at her, acknowledged her existence, and then disappeared. And she was left alone with the body of her child.
Very sad, McKaylee. Very,
thanks.
very sad. Oh, you know, what's the compliment? I don't know.
So her whole mission has been to find where this man is, who she's kind of called the Blood Wizard. I think actually our DM came up with that, and I was like, okay, he's the Blood Wizard. So she's trying to find out where the fuck he is and why the fuck he killed her daughter. I don't know why. I don't know where. That was kind of a thing that I was also like, whatever the DM wants to do with that, I'm just gonna give you this. Here's a man I want to kill. At the point of her going into Barovia, she knows that he's somewhere down south, and she's trying to get enough money to book passage onto a boat to get there, which is why she does the job that leads her into Barovia. Yeah. And so,
right.
It's time. It's the time.
Why?
And that led to a whole bunch of stuff.
Marshall, why in reference to which part? There were many multiple.
I might have an answer.
Why?
Why so many things? You know, why just that story? Why did I do this?
You know, if our characters had talked honestly about their struggles, they might have actually been friends.
Sven was not gonna talk about her feelings. That was not gonna be a thing. She's not.
And
she
Elora
didn't.
wasn't either, but in a different way. You know, in a different
very different way. Yeah. So I'm just gonna insult you and like laugh in your face.
I do want to real quick because you went over your suggested characteristics. I don't know if I justified all of them.
I think you justified the bottom two.
Right. Well, so yeah, my bond was I will bring terrible wrath on the evildoers who destroyed my homeland. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, I ask McKaylee that too sometimes, and she just shrugs most of the time.
What happened was, let me explain. What happened was I had the idea, what if Sven used to be a mom? And I was like, oh my god, like I have this all written on the back of her character sheet, because I like decided this during like session 1. I was like, they were all having like a scene or whatever, and I wasn't paying attention, and so I was just writing and like doodling. And I drew a little baby girl, and I was like, what if I had a child? That'd be great, right? Run to full time. And I was like, well, but I can't be traveling if I have a child at home, so what if she's dead? And I was like, how did she die? What if it's tragic? And then I just went from there.
Oh my god.
Also, fun fact though, this necklace I made for Sven, this little locket, I doubt you'll be able to see, but it has little pictures of Francine in them. Also a piece of tape to keep it closed because the lock doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. My little Francine. Yeah, she needed some trauma. She was using sarcasm to cover up the pain, and I needed to explain what pain she was covering up.
That's a very good point. We got lots of spice in these characters.
She, she's a time.
I know, Marshall, you definitely can be, but McKaylee's first go-to is that family members in the backstory are dead. That's what she does.
This was
Not
the
to say
first, like, this was the first, like, detailed, drawn out backstory I ever built. And so I was like, I'm just going to go for the easy way.
The easy, oh my goodness.
So the easy way is the most traumatic, that her dad sold her into slavery at the age of 6, that her, like, lover then was murdered in front of her, that she then had a child to somebody she didn't know who it was, and then she got murdered, and now she's traveling.
Meanwhile, mine is just looking for lost brother, has to kill her lover, is sad.
She's sad.
Is sad.
Sven is happy on the outside.
That's the deception. But then, tell us all what you did before I joined the party. That ties with your backstory, makes sense now that you've explained it.
So now that I've explained my backstory, I didn't know anything about the stereotypes of rogues. Also, I would like to point out, I just thought rogues sounded really cool, and I wanted to be a pirate. I'm trying so hard. Okay, we were in the town of Barovia. We had just left the death house, and we saw a child get sold by their parents. Does that sound familiar? To a hag that was going to, and then they sold for magic pies that made them high. And my party was like, it's like, they talked to her or whatever, and they're like, it's fine, like, we can't really do anything, right, like, let's just leave. And my character was like, what the fuck? And so I snuck around the back of the cart while I told our bard to distract her, talking about pies and different recipes for pies for some reason. And she picked the lock and got the child out. It was a 7-year-old boy, and brought him back to, or like, I brought him back to his parents, and his parents were terrible people. And so I decided that this was my child now. His name is Lucian. He's wonderful. He is a rogue level 3 by the end of the campaign. I didn't know that it was a stereotype for rogues to kidnap kids and adopt them. I just did.
You just did it.
I'm sorry. I just did it. And then somebody later was like, man, you're really living up to the stereotype. Like, you don't have to do that. And I was like, what? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
That child was in need. He needed a mother. I'm gonna be that mom. If I can't have my own kid, I'm gonna make that kid mine.
Jeez. Yeah, and that's also, I don't remember if that's the reason why. Yeah, but my character, or I guess Elora, also, like, took to Lucian as well because he reminded her of her little brother. But yeah. And this is also where we were like, Perfect best friends we can be.
So amazing.
So good. So good friends.
We'll be moms to this kid.
I think it was like the second session when we realized that was a terrible idea for the second one that I was in.
Because what immediately happened after we met Claire, what happened after we met Elora is that we ended up at the hag's place. And the same situation happened where we're in their place and we're all nice and cordial and stuff. And everyone's like, we're not going to do anything rash. Right. And I was like, nah. And so I tried to cut her head off. And, you were like, maybe we should have done that differently.
Elora existed in Barovia for, like, I think I decided it was like 2 or 3 months or something, and hadn't raised a finger against anyone except to kill her, to kill Even. So of course.
Yeah, my character was like, first bad guy I see, I want her head.
I think it was also we walked by a lake, and there was a guy in the lake with a bag.
That was immediately after.
Yeah, immediately after, there was a guy with a bag, and
there was a girl drowning.
Yeah.
There was a child in it.
There was.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly, Kingston.
Was...
No, exactly. Yeah, no, it was just, it was, they were like, yeah, we'll just go out and check him out.
Yeah, we're just gonna go talk to him. That's
And then
all.
they,
We're just
like,
gonna talk.
killed him, and my character was like, what's happening? Why am I here?
We didn't lay a finger on him. We didn't lay a finger on him. We just hit the boat. He decided not to do anything. That was his own fault. He could have gotten out of the boat. He could have swam. He just sat there while it went down.
Yeah, because he was... Wait, let's not say why. Should we say why? That's kind of a big spoiler. Curse of Strahd spoiler. Warning.
There was a guy who had no mind, no conscience, no thoughts.
Yeah.
So we cut a hole in his boat. We as in me, the warlock and the bard, cut a hole in his boat, and he drowned.
And Elora was thinking, what am I doing?
Why am I with these dumbass people? Yeah, that wasn't great.
It was also just that we realized the way we played our characters, their personalities were pretty abrasive against each other.
Yeah. Yours was very like straight and narrow, and mine was very chaotic. Her alignment is just chaotic also.
Yeah, mine was chaotic good, which I think initially she was, but the way that I played her, the reason why she was more calm than chaotic, some of her decisions were a little bit chaotic good, I think, if we were really trying to follow those, but she was really mellow because of everything was dead.
Yeah. It's time. Yeah. I think though maybe we're starting to get in. We've gone over our backstory and how we met. Maybe this is a good moment to take a quick break. I gotta go pee so bad.
Okay.
And then if we want to keep going over stuff after this, we can come back and we can go strong.
Okay, so bathroom break, snack break.
Bathroom break, snack break.
How long do you want it to be, McKaylee?
How long should we do it, Claire?
Like, do you want like 5 minutes or you want 10 minutes? What are we talking about here?
Let's do a nice good 10-minute break. I got pee. I gotta get food.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
I have goldfish here, but I will also get water.
Okay.
So hold on, let me prepare. Okay. So we'll be right back for more of this harrowing tale of our fucking characters that we talk about.
The chaos will ensue.
Too much. All right, see you in about 10 minutes, friends.
Thanks for staying.
go. Very good.
One at a time.
I had got some water.
Good for you. I got
in my
some soda. Mine's also in my mug.
Does it make anyone upset that I'm holding it like this?
You know, live your life. Live your truth.
It makes me a little upset. But it's got nice divots.
Why are you doing it?
Because it has nice hand-holdy divots. I don't know.
That's valid.
Anyway,
Anywho.
we didn't process the last comment in chat. Our DM wasn't nice, and we did have the burlap sack bit. That was
Yeah, we had a little girl in a bag, which that's one of the few notes that I didn't have in my notebook. Look, it's a man in a boat. I have the exact dimensions of the lake that he was in. It's 3 miles by 1 mile, and there were 3 boats on the shore, and he was directly in the center of it.
Yep. Sure was.
Yep.
Certainly. But yeah,
and they dropped the bag.
Those 2 things happened, and Elora didn't know what was happening. I also
Elora didn't know any of it.
I was glancing at my character sheet, and I noticed something that McKaylee will absolutely make fun of me for. Because I do the opposite now. But
oh no.
Did
you? You did not.
I totally did.
Congrats. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
No, I'm so upset that I did it.
Wait, explain what it is.
Yeah, for everyone, for all of our friends, when we build characters, we have, instead of the regular character sheet, we have our character cheat. But it also has the ability scores and the modifier, like there's a small and a big bubble, similar to the character sheet. And I always put the modifier in the big bubble, the big box, because it's the one you use. And
no, it's not.
It's the one you use the most. Yes, it is.
Okay, it is.
But I'm looking at my Elora character sheet right now. I have to be honest. I could have not said this, but I have to be honest. It's possible. What does my character sheet look like? What does it look like from your end, McKaylee? The one that you made.
On the original one, it's the big numbers and the big bubbles because that's where they go.
I think that's why I have the big numbers and the big bubbles. I am not
because
this
I
kind
made
of person.
It
Yeah, McKaylee made my first character sheet, or the character sheet for this character, because I didn't have a freaking printer. And I feel a little uncomfortable. However, by the end of the campaign, Elora had a 22 wisdom, and that is a fun number to look at in the big box, I admit, because it's a big number. Because I found one of those items, those like wisdom tomes or something.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I can justify why the big number would look nice in the big box. Otherwise I do it the other way. I do it the other way. I do.
Terrible.
Yep.
Horrible.
But, you know,
big numbers go in big bubbles. Otherwise, you're squishing them.
I love that you care about the numbers so much to think that they have feelings.
They do, and you're wrong.
They don't have feelings, McKaylee. They don't.
It just makes sense.
Does it?
Yes, that's all. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going next. we did they're gonna grow if they grow, and then they will be grown. That's all.
What does that even mean? What?
Just, it does make sense.
No!
If they're gonna grow, they're gonna grow. If they're not gonna grow, then they won't.
Well, they need space. They need room, and that's all. The end.
Ugh.
The aesthetics still look great with the big numbers and the big bubbles, Marshall.
The problem with the fact that the big numbers on this sheet were in the big bubbles is the fact that I had my modifiers incorrect for half the time we played.
That's your own goddamn fault. I don't know what to tell you about that.
It's partly my fault, but it's because I kept trying to add the big numbers. I kept trying to add the big numbers, McKaylee. The amount of times that I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember how long it took me to take my turns, but it's because I was staring at it and thinking 15 doesn't that's not the right. I'm confused. What just dropped? Oh my god. And it was so
Goddamn. What a time.
I'm trying to decipher what the dice one. Big dice.
The dice one, if you have the big number in the big bubber. Oh, okay. Okay, so Marshall's on my side. Wait, time out. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, big number go in big bubble. So if you have big number and big bubble, then it's going to translate to your dice, and your dice will roll better because the big number will lead to big number.
I have big dice.
That's not... That's not at all what I said, but you know...
It's not what you said, but I said it.
You did. That's accurate. You did say that.
They're not on me right now, but I could go get them.
Wonderful. Oh, man. Dice.
That's the other highlight of our regular stream, is that we roll all our dice.
Yes. Oh god, I have so many dice. I almost bought more the other day.
Those big dice roll big number. They roll big number.
And you know, if you got the little number, it's gonna be a little off balance. But
I really do need to play a cleric because my percentile dice always roll very well.
Really good at that.
I'm really good.
I'm like, is it like because we're rolling so many D100s on all of our tables for our like character streams, or is it like so that you have more chances, or is it like
that's a good point, or is it just
like, I don't
mojo?
You just roll really good. I don't know. We have though on some of those. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it could be the frequency of rolls because we have rolled, or I've rolled a couple of 100s and a couple of ones, and I just Huh? What?
Yeah. It's a time.
It's a time.
It's a time.
It's absolutely time.
It's a motherfucking time.
Yeah. I was looking also over the end of my backstory. I wrote part of my backstory from the perspective of Kevin and Adrian.
Of course.
Because I was trying to figure out what their perspective was, because the DM was like, what were they doing? What were they thinking?
What a time. Yeah, so there was like a specific moment, which was when, I think that was when we went to the next city after the boat thing. We went to go knock on the mayor's, we went to Vallaki. And we went to go knock on the Burgermeister's house. The Burgermaster.
Burger Man!
Burger
Man!
Burger Man!
I never called him whatever
called
the other thing was called. It was always Burger Man.
The Burgermeister! Burgermeister!
And
we called him the Burger Man.
She played him in a way that I would say a Burger Man would be played.
Wonderfully. Absolutely. Yeah. We have to. Vallaki was our best arc for that campaign.
So much fun.
This is our Vallaki time. This is our map.
Oh.
Those are all the notable places in Vallaki that we went to. I drew in pencil because it kept changing where the locations were.
It did keep changing.
But then
stuff happened there.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah. There's an area with bad vibes. But we were, when we went to Vallaki, I think where our characters started to really the friction really became evident was when we knocked on the door and I was immediately like, hey, we're looking for people to help us fight Strahd.
Oh,
and
that's
you were
right. Because because of the backstory stuff and the fact that Strahd charmed a person that she had to kill that she loved. I decided that one of her traits was she'd be really freaked out if somebody spoke Strahd's name out loud, because Adrian spoke Strahd's name out loud.
And it got them
and
killed.
He appeared, and it got them all. The chaos happened. And so that was a thing that I had decided. And I was like, they probably won't do that right away.
They won't do that.
And it was like, we're trying to kill Strahd.
Hey man, you want to help us? We're gonna kill Strahd. You got some weapons we can use to murder the motherfucker?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big breaking point.
And then, unrelated to our characters' dynamics, but we were welcomed into his home, and I decided to turn into his dog.
Oh my god. You came a fucking mastiff and just wandered around the house and we're like, where the fuck did Elora go?
I misjudged how the dog would behave to one of the worker people, and I behaved in the opposite way that the dog behaves, and so the worker was like, that's not blah blah blah. And so then I sprinted out and I jumped into a cat and then it was fine. But
you almost got captured too. You almost got captured by one.
Yep.
You got fucking tackled by one of the wait staff of the Burgermasters, the Burgerman's house.
That's where the chaotic decision making came in for Elora, was the split decisions she would make sometimes.
It was good. We had our Vallaki was the highlight of that campaign for sure. For DM to player, we all had great moments there, but because that was the moment where we broke where we realized Sven and Elora cannot be friends. They are not friends. They do not like each other. Yeah. That's where we realized it for sure, where we finalized that decision.
Yeah.
Or it was finalized for itself.
Oh my god, do you remember, we were in the tavern that's there, and one of the things that I did, part of the giving the DM certain nuggets, one of the things was that she had kept the symbol of Keevan's patron, which is Hearsome, and kept his 2 journals, which I looked just now, and the 2 journals, one of them was a diary type thing, and the other one was about vampires, what they'd learned. And so I would frequently in the evening be oh, Elora's just gonna oh, and I have this necklace that I decided was the Hearsome patron necklace, whatever. Very good. I don't know. It's I like to have things to be this is a thing for my character, whatever.
Yeah. I have a whole
I would frequently say that she would pull out the necklace and fiddle with it, or be wearing it and fiddle with it, and then that she would read the 2 journals just because it brought her some relief, or I don't know, just like rereading the words he wrote and that sort of thing. And when we were in the tavern, McKaylee has a cardboard cutout, but we're gonna keep going. um, oh no.
Am I back? Hello.
Yeah, you're back.
Hello.
But we were
continue.
We were in the tavern, and I was doing the thing again, where I was like, oh, Elora's gonna pull out her 2 journals, and the DM was like, one of them's not there, and it was very evident that Sven had taken one of them.
Because earlier that night, I stole our warlock was had the Pact Boon book of tomes.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier that night, I had stolen it from him and tried to read it. And then I gave it back and was like, "Hey, here's your journal." And he was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, it's yours. I don't want it. I can't read it."
Yeah, so I just that was another.
So I had messaged. I thought it'd be fun and playful. I was like, it'll be a joke, haha. And I texted the DM and I was like, "Hey, can I like roll to see if I can steal her thing?" And so she made me roll for like all of these things. Like I messaged her privately about doing these things, but she made me roll for all of them. And I was able to successfully beat your like passive because I'm a fucking god. No one can go me.
Sure, of course. No, of course.
Sven was she's pretty good at everything, actually. She was real good at shit. There was a point at the end where I was like, God damn, like, I'm just, like, fucking killing it.
Yeah. I mean, for sure.
But, yeah, I just rolled it. I had your book. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking, by the end, 5d6. 5d6 sneak attack. That's great.
Yeah, and I think there were maybe some more, like, minor conflict things, and I just decided that Elora would confront you because you were like joking, like the way you played Sven was Sven was very like jokey all the time, but also like really aggressive when provoked, yeah, and just like out of the blue sometimes, and I think
she has issues.
And then there was also the dynamic of, like, Elora with Lucian, like, they got along really well, and that was a conflict because of circumstances, but all of these, like, conflicts we're talking about, it wasn't, like, Claire and McKaylee conflict, it was, like, the character conflict.
No. And we talked about it a lot out of character, where we were like, hey, all good fun, right?
It was fun and, just the best. It was so good. But there was a lot of, like, confrontation between them because...
When you found I think you sent me a message or something, right? You sent me a message that was like, give me the book back and like I won't like do shit. And so I tried to sneak it onto the table where you were or something like that. It was something dumb where I was trying to give it back to you without like confrontation. And then you grabbed my arm. You grabbed my arm and you held me there and you were like, no, we're gonna fucking talk. And we had a fucking intense conversation.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
But that was before we knew anything about each other, really. Yeah. And then I think after it was pretty soon after that we like got the full backstory on each other, and it was a lot.
That was fun. That was a really fun arc. It was so good.
Yeah. Good times.
With the journals and the necklace, the patron necklace, our DM gave the opportunity to get some warlock stuff for my character, um, because she was
That was
holding
pretty
on to
cool.
this. She was holding on to this symbol of the patron, and our DM, she played Hearsome as the freaking manipulative piece of shit that he is.
Yep. Here's
Yep.
some Prince of Fools. What a guy.
She is a badass and so very good. And actually,
can I announce it? Announce it.
No, we can't. That's tomorrow. We're announcing that tomorrow.
Okay. You know, come tomorrow and hear more about.
Do you just wanna
just
go? You can say it if you want.
I want to.
You might be seeing our DM on our stream soon-ish.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Yeah,
She's
there we go.
cool.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be on our stream in the upcoming times. Tomorrow we'll announce more about it. But
just trying to create some anticipation. I could have paused there. I'm sorry.
You know,
it's not October yet. Rocky hasn't started. Yeah, no, she is a wonderful DM, and it was cool because not only was it Elora got some visits from Hearsome, she also got like quest from him to if she did something, he would give her something.
Yeah.
And she
did that a lot with the Warlock's patron too, where like she was really fun with our Warlock's patron. I liked those interactions a lot. I wrote a lot of those down word for word. I wish I fucking had my book because they were so intense and so fun. But she would like give him things as well, and sometimes y'all's two quests would be like conflicting each other.
Yeah. Like directly.
And it was cool.
It was very good. I loved it, and I reached for the opportunity to get Hearsome to talk to Elora more because it was a fun dynamic. It was just really fun.
You could tell she enjoyed doing it too, so it was like, you know, don't want to stop now.
Yeah. Oh boy, it was everything was like, I feel like and I do think session zeros are super important and super helpful with campaigns where the party is cohesive and like has a big purpose of why they're together, or at least has like more knowledge of who they are. But with Barovia and Curse of Strahd, it's kind of like you're thrown together to sort of
because
unite.
you need each other.
Yeah, and so our party was really rocky. Like the relationship between the characters was really rocky all the time because everyone kind of had different motivations or like different
we
ways.
All in the end wanted to leave. Like that was the only thing we all had in common, was that we wanted to leave Barovia. Some of us kind of had very different ideas of how we'd be leaving, or like like you know, maybe
to, like, rip Strahd's heart out.
And our Warlock wanted to become Strahd. So, you know, that was a point in the story where we were like, are you going to be one of the bad guys? Like, what the fuck? What's everybody's vibe right now? Like, are we all friends?
Yeah. And it was a question mark for most of the time.
And there was a point as we were leading up to the climax of our like campaign where our party actually ended up splitting off in like separate directions because we had a session where it was like all we're all fucking theater kids. We had a session where it was all role play, but it was like super fucking intense and we like fought a lot. It was killed another.
It was right after the temple place. Where, because there's a lot of stuff in there that you can get, and that gives you stuff, or it's just stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Some people took some stuff, changed them a little bit physically and emotionally. In a negative way.
Became Yeah, my alignment became evil. I had black veins and my eyes were yellow. Yep. But I actually have listed everything that I could do. And also I was terrified of fire.
Yep.
I was absolutely terrified of fire. But I could cast Raise Dead 3 times. I had Cone of Cold that I could use 5 times. And I always had a Ring of Warmth around me. And then I was able to summon and control 2 Hellhounds. And with that, I could speak Infernal. And then I could cast Finger of Death 2 times. It was great.
I didn't do any of that. She didn't take any of the things because she is really wise and stuff. Yeah. But she had, Elora had a mission from Hearsome to make sure that something happened in the temple. And then also our warlock had a thing that he needed to, like, die and be resurrected to get rid of.
Because he had a curse.
Yeah, but because Elora didn't want to see anyone die, she had...
That was a fun curse.
Yeah, it was a fun curse. And, there was also... Gosh. There was another reason to, like, take the warlock out of play to make sure that the thing that Hearsome asked Elora to do happened. And so, this is the reason why I love being a spellcaster that has daily prepared spells that you can change. And not, like, a set amount of spells, because there's, like, more room for creativity, right? So I don't do a lot of planning for things as a player. But for this, I did consider and had, like, a idea of something to make sure that this mission thing happened. And basically, I don't know if anyone's ever used Feign Death, but that spell's fun. It's a fun spell. It's a fun.
We thought Redoran fucking died.
Yep. Yep. Nope.
You prepared it in a great way too.
So we found a shield guardian, which is like a person, like a basically like a magical robot thing that you can the person who's in charge of it can charge it with spells, a certain amount, and then also the shield guardian takes some of the damage from the person that is wearing the, like, amulet connected to it. And so I had the amulet, but I gave it to our warlock, and I put a healing spell in it, and healed him for one battle, and then the next time I said, oh, let me put another spell into it. But I didn't say which spell, and I put Feign Death in it. And the thing about Feign Death is that you have to agree to the spell be cast on you. And so I put it on the shield guardian, and then I told the shield guardian
to us. You said it was a healing spell. You were like, there's a healing spell.
I didn't say it was a healing spell. I didn't say anything about what type of spell it was. But I let you assume that it was a healing spell because previously I had put some healing spells in it.
And then Redoran just fucking died.
But it also was helpful because you get half damage from that. So then he was getting 4th damage, and the curse that was on him meant he took all of our damage. I know that he just was like, oh, we could just resurrect him. But we didn't have a cleric, so there was a different way to resurrect him based on the temple.
We had to use, like, a sarcophagus. Yeah, and we weren't sure if it was going to turn him into a vampire or not.
Yeah, so there was a whole, like, lots of questions, and I decided that it made sense that Elora did not want him to die. She also kind of liked that character.
She was in love with him.
She liked the warlock. and didn't want him to fucking die like her previous warlock boyfriend.
She just has a thing for warlocks.
I guess so. I don't know why. The previous one was not as good as as we thought he was, because his patron
Claire.
What?
You built a character who's in love with warlocks and whose best friend is a human rogue. What a time. Your pattern just kept repeating itself.
Oh my god, you're right.
The only difference was that the second time there was Pick, but Pick was our other character. He was a Goliath bard.
Yep. Really great.
But he was just he was a wonderful fourth wheel to a lot of the chaos, where the three of us got in a lot of fights, and Pick would just be like, "Hey guys, okay. I'm gonna go get a drink. How you doing?"
Yeah.
How you doing over here?
Yeah. But yeah, it was so after we left the temple, that's where there was like a big argument, because Lucian didn't come with us. The adopted child didn't come with us to the temple, because that would have been bad news.
He was safe. He was with your brother, who we found.
Oh, that's right. In the backstory arc, our DM decided that Elora's brother was stuck in the fog, like the backstory fog. Which was different than the Barovia border fog, the whole thing. But he was stuck there for years, so that stinks. But he ended up being a really, like, adorable, cute brother that was so sweet and kind, and, like, the voice of reason.
Also, me and him got along real well. We were just kind of vibing while, like, Elora and Renarin, the warlock dude, they'd be having their little petty disputes, and me and him would be like, they want to fuck, right? Like, they totally want to fuck. And, like, that was just our whole conversations in the back. Yeah. It was a great time. Making little dirty jokes.
Something that we do in a lot of our games is when the DM is working on the next thing, we just jump into a scene. Like, we jump into an interaction.
Yeah.
Like, we're walking from this place to this place. Oh, Sven, what's happening? I don't know. Some random shit.
I did, while we were walking from one place to another, I had collected a whole bunch of rocks, and I was making sleight of hand checks to just put them in Elora and Renarin's pockets. So we were just walking, I just put a bunch of pebbles in Elora and Renarin's pockets. It was great.
Yep.
And then I think at one point, Renarin was like looking for something, and the DM was like, "Yeah, you have a bunch of rocks in your pocket," and he was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Why? Confused. Don't abuse.
So yes, one of those walks where we struck up some conversation while the DM was working on the next thing was an argument that caused. Let's see. My character.
Well, you and Renarin. Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say? I don't remember.
I was gonna say it was you. It was Renarin was trying to take the necklace from you because he didn't trust.
Yeah.
So he was. Renarin was our warlock. He had a whole thing where he regretted his making the pact with his patron. Like he regrets it because he lost so much time and he's not sure if like he killed his lover.
Oh, that's right.
And so he was like, I like this girl. I don't want her to fucking go down the same path, and it's looking like she's going to accept it. So he tried to steal it off your chest.
Yeah, I was asking him questions about like I was asking vague questions to try and clue him into the fact that something bad was happening with Hearsome. And so he tried to take it.
And you got real defensive.
Yeah.
And you ended up utilizing one of the abilities that Hearsome gave you, thus accepting like partially the pact with Hearsome.
Yep.
And then you left, and then the three of us, it was, you were gone because you were like, I don't want to be here.
Fucking Misty stepped out of there.
Yeah. And then it was the three of us, and we were all yelling at Renarin, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because me and Pick were like, I don't know what to do and whose side to be on. I'm just kind of here. And then...
It was something happened with you because you were like
I got in a huge argument, and I remember that after you weren't there, but after that session, I mean, you, Claire, were there, but Elora wasn't in that conversation.
Like,
but remember, after that session, I like yelled. I yelled at the two of them, like hardcore, like started screaming and stuff. Yep. And I remember after that session, I like sat there for like 2 minutes, just like shaking, and I was like, guys, like, I want you to know, it's just my character, like. I love y'all. And we're all just like sitting there like breathing because like we just got really heated and like into our characters. Mm-hmm. And Elora was gone and we're just yelling at each other.
And then the next session though, you like walked ahead and I was there and we had an argument. Our characters had an argument. And then it was like about Lucian because of course.
Yeah, because you wanted me to give back the gifts or something, or you were mad at me about the gifts that I had taken. And I was trying to explain to you, like, what would he think?
Yeah, I was trying to. I was like, what would he think? And then Sven went into the whole like, I don't need any of you thing, and I think I left. I flew away because I was a little druid. I birded out and I flew.
And then she left too. She just walked away. Renarin tried to coerce her into staying by tricking her with like minor illusion. But she was just kind of like, fuck you, get the fuck away from me. That was kind of a bad idea. It was a terrible idea. I was like,
you don't use magic on your friends when you're trying to persuade them of something.
Yeah. I almost punched him in the face. Like, I think I probably did a couple times in that campaign, actually. But yeah. Me and Renarin did not get along.
My character went to go get Lucian and her brother. Renarin went to Rictavio. We know that there's another name for Rictavio, but we just call him Rictavio because that one's fun. And then Sven and Pick, the bard, went to Vallaki.
Sven went on her own. Sven went on her own and Pick followed her.
Yeah.
Sven was going to drink her night away and build up the courage to go see her son because she looked like a monster and she was terrified to go see him. But then I went to the bar, got super drunk. Pick showed up and was like, hey, I think Elora's going to like get your kid because like he had gone to see where Lucian was. Yeah. This is what we had an argument about on stream was the order of events. Pick had gone to see where my son was, Lucian, and he was already gone. You'd already taken him, tricked him out of the house, even though he was screaming and crying for his mother. No, you took him.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Oh, because you fucking charmed him.
Because I failed on so many persuasion checks that
you use magic on him. You know what's not a good way to convince your friends of something is to use magic on them.
I know, McKaylee, I know. And I felt so sad to do that. But I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Sitting there like... Yeah, so I was in the same town, on the other side of the town getting drunk. I was done with a whole bottle of whiskey, and I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go get my son back from that bitch Elora. And I tried to stand, and the DM was like, make a constitution saving throw, and I failed, and I fell on my ass. Yep. And I was stuck there for the night. And then what happened, Claire? And then what happened?
And then one of my favorite parts happened. So this was like the day before we went to go face Strahd, like the end, the day before the end.
Sven had decided that she was gonna go by herself at that point. Yeah. She was like, I'm gonna go, they can all live, and like she'll take care of Lucian, he'll be taken care of. Like she decided that after realizing she couldn't go get him, she was like, maybe I shouldn't take care of this kid. Elora can do it because he likes her.
He likes her so much that he gave her a little fucking necklace, and it's so cute.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, I decided Sven was gonna go and face Strahd.
Whoa. Did everybody else see that? Cardboard McKaylee's back. Is she gonna disappear? And am I gonna be a wild... Oh, she's back. Good.
Yes, my phone that I had on my hotspot died.
Oh, great. Love that.
So,
For you?
I don't have chat anymore also.
Oh, that's alright. I got them.
Yeah. Wonderful. But yeah. That's
They were,
that
they were, the party was all broken up except for Elora and the Warlock. They were in the same place. So I think that one time I prepared, and this time I prepared. Otherwise, I don't really prepare for any D&D things as a player. But I was like, because we decided that Elora's brother was a wizard, and like a certain level, just in case he ever came in to help us as an ally for play. I don't think he really did. Maybe once.
Yeah. No, him and the other NPCs just kind of like hung out whenever we fought things, so we were like,
"Yeah,
you're valid, Simone. Like you do you.
You just let him chill.
Use the monsters. Just let him chill. We don't need him."
But yeah, so I was trying to figure. I was like, because I was thinking, can I be crafty with a spell? Is there a way that Elora can help fix this? Because they really do need to be together. Let's not all die. Because Strahd is spooky, scary, man. Spooky, scary. Werewolf bar mitzvah.
Werewolf bar mitzvah. Boys becoming men. Men becoming wolves. Okay, continue.
So I noticed, and this is another thing. It's fun to look at the spell list because there are so many cool spells that are for really weird... I feel like they're not for everyday circumstances.
Like specific.
Yeah. One of them... Let me make sure that I'm... Hold on. I don't want to call the wrong spell. Ah, yes.
Wasn't it just called Dream?
Yeah. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Sleep. Sleep is different. Yeah, the Dream spell. I was like, ooh. Would Eldrin have the Dream spell? Maybe. And then I was texting our Warlock as well. And I was like, I just really want to use the Dream spell. Because it's a really cool spell. You don't have to be next to the person that you're wanting to cast it on. It's, you give them a dream. And it can be anything. Like, you just decide what the dream is. It could be literally anything. They could, if you want it to cause them damage, like psych damage, they can make a roll, and if they fail it, then it's a bad dream, or it could just be a dream, and that's it. It's just a dream. People, you should use that spell more often, because it is a cool spell. But yeah, so I was like, I just wish, I think maybe Elora's brother has the dream spell, but I'm not sure. I really want to use it, because I have an idea. And, our friend Michael was like, funny you should say that, because I have the dream spell. I chose that spell because I thought it was cool. I have the dream spell. And I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Hey.
Dope. Sweet. Love it. So then I wrote a dream sequence. I wrote a beautiful dream sequence. And I was like, hey, DM, could you instigate this dream sequence? I don't want McKaylee to know that one of us did it, because I think that she would be mad and wouldn't care to listen.
You know, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at all. Totally normal, absolutely fine about it. It was chill. It was chill.
But yeah, so the Warlock put Elora into Sven's dreams, and I used all of the resources at hand because we got to see our backstories. So I had backstory information. And I think it made you didn't it make you cry?
I think I cried a little bit. I cried just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
There was
it was a lot. Okay, was, as a, like, character, like, Sven was going through, like, so much and was kind of at the end of her rope. Like, and also that night, there's a NPC named Esmeralda, who is her character art. Look it up, Esmeralda, Curse of Strahd. Fucking hot.
Yep.
I don't know. She's just hot. I saw the art when she was first introduced, and I was like, damn, that girl's hot. And so I flirted with her for the whole campaign, and then we ended up dating. We ended up fucking, and that was an inspiration point that I got my only inspiration of that campaign for having sex with Esmeralda. And I'm very proud of it. It was a great time. That's when we had the sex talk. Was after that.
Yeah, you said that like it was
because we talked about it earlier.
No.
Like a good
it was one of our characters.
A good like 2 hours ago. We mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time though. We did that. But then when all the shit went down and I took all those curses willingly.
Esmeralda's character is very morally good.
And she was very unhappy with that. We had a conversation about it through a a messenger thing.
Yeah.
And ended up breaking it off.
Yeah.
It was pretty harsh. It was pretty harsh. It was a rough time. I had a fantasy breakup. And it's hard to say who broke up with who. It was kind of like just intense all around.
Yeah.
By the end of that conversation, like, it was a lot. But then she decided she was gonna go die that next morning. Like, in her head, she was like, I'm gonna go to Strahd's castle by myself. I will die, definitely. I'm not coming back from this. And so when she had a dream that night, I was like in a weird headspace as a player, and it was kind of like I was asked to make choices in the dream that I was,
that was also like right before that. Right before that, I gave up like the hearsome stuff, and our DM scolded fucking Elora for like a minute straight to try and persuade her not to like let go of it. The vibes of that session were like just a little tense.
Intense, like absolutely, like the tensest it could have been. And so when that happened, and it was dream, it was so emotional, and like my son was there, and it was like, do you save him? Do you let him die? And I was like, wait, what? Yes, I'm gonna say. And like just like so much was happening.
It was the it's kind of long,
I cried a little bit.
It's kind of long, so I won't read it, but it basically went through vignettes of Sven's life in a really positive and like all the happy aspects of Sven's life.
The minimum that there was.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah. And she had some happy.
Yeah, but it was highlighting all of that, and then there came a point where there were like God, I loved the sequence. There were flashes of like what she actually looked like currently, so like the black veins and the like pale eyes and the angry face, and then flashes back to like current things. And there was a moment, I wrote 2 versions of it. So there was a moment where Sven had to make a choice about whether or not to save Lucian, and I wrote a happy and a sad ending to the dream, because it was also going to be an indication of if she chose the bad thing, it meant that she was really gone. But of course, I mean, Michael and I were like, there's no way she's gonna choose the sad one. Why would she do that? Why would she do that to her kid?
I had a split-second moment. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have been so scared, but yeah, you chose the happy one.
It was an obvious choice too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it was also an attempt to. I don't know what would have happened if we hadn't had that, because that kind of brought us back, at least to like be a team. I don't know if our DM had things planned to try and bring us back together, but apparently if my character had taken the Hearsome Pact fully, she would have been exactly like Sven and would have been told to go to Strahd by herself. Like, our DM was like, I'm so glad you didn't pick that. I was so worried. I was like, me too! Me too! Oh my god!
It's a good time.
But yeah, no, the end of the dream, the end of the happy dream was with the intention of, everyone's here because they need you. Like, everyone needs you. Because Sven kept saying, like, I don't need anyone, they don't need me.
Yeah. She didn't feel like anybody liked her or, like, knew her or wanted her around. That's what the argument was that, like, made her leave Renarin and pick. Was, like, y'all don't fucking care about me. Like, y'all never have.
Yeah.
She has a lot of, like, self-loathing and stuff. So,
yep.
You know.
But it was
she blamed herself for everything.
It was really fun. Like, I know
it was a good time.
And it's because we all had, like, clear communication as people about, like, what we were hoping for the characters, and, like, I think almost all of us would be on a call for, like, 30 minutes afterwards, just vibing every time, which I would definitely encourage people to do if you're gonna play a RP heavy TTRPG. Communication is really important, because we were all down for the chaos and, like, the intense moments, but it's totally reasonable and valid to not want that in your TTRPG game.
Yeah. We just, we're all dumb little baby actors and we wanted to get some acting in.
Yeah, I think that one was much more heavy on the... Well, I would say most of the games with those people, that group, are more heavy on the RP and acting vibes, because we started playing together at the start of the pandemic when all of our previous theater opportunities and, like, outlets were just squashed. Just like a smushed squash. Just...
Yep. Uh-huh.
My brain...
It was a good thing for us to do, honestly. Like, it really helped us a lot. Like, and it helped me. And then, I mean, now we still play as often as we can. We're currently playing Monster of the Week and Monster Hearts, which is also same, lots of intensity going on in there, too. We carried that over from the Strahd campaign. Yeah. Lots of fighting. But mine and yours characters are best friends now, actually, in Monster of the Week.
Oh. Yeah, and they are.
We haven't really met the other one, so...
We
did
totally brought it back around.
It took a while, but we did it.
God, we really... I can't... We really thought that Sven and Elora would be best friends.
That they were built to be best friends, and, we didn't think.
Best friends. They were not built
We tried to build them to be best friends. The goal in mind was that we were going to build best friends. And it didn't happen. But you know what? An effort was made.
An effort was made. Absolutely. Of course. God.
Yeah.
Oh, it was boy. That was... I love Curse of Strahd. It's such a fun game.
I'm actually really excited because I'm playing a new Curse of Strahd campaign starting on Friday, actually.
Very excited.
So we'll see if I'm any different from this dumbass character. Maybe this time I won't go and try and fight Strahd by myself.
You know.
Well, we'll see.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's such.
Oh
There's
boy.
some. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's good, but there are lots of little things that are like not good. Like just.
Yeah.
I think that is how I would maybe describe all of the D&D things. Like it's overall good, but there's lots of little things that are like kind of racist.
Oh, ha. Getting
Like,
into the
really,
fun stuff.
but like just to say, like they're not like what's the word?
It's
Oh
not
my
all
God.
innocent.
Well, it's not perfect. Like there's a lot of really wonderful information, and not all of it is like the official content, and some of it is the official content, and it's always fixing and changing and stuff. But the part that was fun for us is that we didn't include those things that sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it wild,
our
Marshall?
DM took a lot of liberties.
Isn't it wild?
It was
it
great. I mean, it wasn't like it was our first written like Wizards of the Coast game.
Yeah,
like,
it was our first pre-written campaign setting official.
And it was the time.
I didn't realize that it was I feel like people describe Curse of Strahd as being like really like you die, like your character's gonna die all the time. And I think I think our DM might have gone a little bit light on that because she didn't know, or I don't think she expected us to stick with it as long as we all did.
No.
And so it was. I think it was a little bit like maybe not exactly what it is written to be. I don't know though.
She mentioned she had like, especially in the beginning, she like pulled back the CR level and like a lot of things, made it like a lot easier for us. But I mean, it was good because for a lot of people, a lot of us were new to the game, and like it kind of it helps a lot for sure.
Yeah.
But
but it was
it was a good one.
Good. Oh God, I miss it.
But now, end of campaign, we decided our characters are still hanging out together.
Oh yeah, because there was this whole with the dream, because Elora was like dictating it and like creating the dream in Sven's mind. There were a couple moments where I had her say stuff directly to Sven about like I can find it really quick. Dream sequence. Let me just.
The dream sequence really did make me change my decision.
It's really long. Look at that. That's so long. Oh my God.
Fucking Christ.
I
really did change my decision.
It's two more. What?
I really did. I changed my decisions based off that dream.
Yep.
Like that dream happened, and then the next morning I was like, "Whoa, fuck!" And so I went. And yeah.
The thing I made Elora say to you after the celebration times of you saying yes was that we'll always be here for you. You don't have to do everything by yourself. We need you.
That was where I cried. That was where I cried.
Needs you. He doesn't want me to replace you. That was important. That was so important. I'm not his mother. You are. That is what made you. I think that is where you were.
That was where I was struggling a lot.
And
I was struggling.
I also wrote this in because I knew that Sven would want to do this. I put, you feel like running away, but you don't. But you don't.
You know, the we need you and like, the we need you part was really what kind of got her.
Yep. I knew exactly what to say. Elora also
you
knew
did,
exactly
and
what
it
to
was
say.
painful. It was fucking painful, and I was like, God damn, like that ended, and I was so pissed. That was before I knew that it was you who wrote that goddamn dream. I was like, God damn. I thought it was a DM, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are you making me feel things? And so then I went and I like knocked on the bard's door, and I was like, fine, we're going back, and we're gonna get the others, and we're gonna do this together.
Yeah.
But that was, yeah, and then y'all were like, okay, let's go back to the other group. What are you doing? So we're gonna take our hands apart and be like, oh man, that was a crazy spell.
Yeah.
Y'all were so lucky we weren't in person, because if we were in person, I would have slapped your fucking ass. I was pissed. I was livid.
Yep.
Like, I just changed my character's whole decisions because I didn't know. I thought I just had a dream.
Yeah.
But guess what? It was you manipulating the fuck out of me.
I think this is why I would have a really fun time being a DM.
I think you would enjoy it. You like secrets and shit.
I love secrets. Oh my god.
That's why I was a shit DM, because I wanted to tell you everything that I built for the world, but I was like, damn it, you're a player in my world. I can't tell you anything.
McKaylee would do this thing where she would vaguely tell me things about the world in her homebrew setting, in which it was like, you guys are doing this one thing, but like other stuff's happening in the world. Like,
there's so much
stuff is happening. You would be you'd be so surprised about the other stuff that's happening. Like it's getting rough. And I just be like, oh, great.
Oh, cool.
I don't know where that is. I'm sorry. I can't.
Also, y'all created the whole. Never mind. I'm gonna get that. That's another time.
Okay.
Sven had a fucking time in Curse of Strahd, and I would fucking love to play her again. Yeah, because we got to level 10, and that's where Curse of Strahd ended. And we decided that our characters were then going to go and like help each other with their own, like, finish out their personal quest. So everyone had like agreed to help Sven go find the blood wizard.
Yeah.
That killed her baby girl. So that was a time.
It was so good.
To do that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we back in January we like quarantined hardcore and got like tested and double tested and I didn't see a single person. Like I fucking avoided everyone. I isolated to the max. And then we all hung out and we played our we hung out. We went to a lake house and we just played the last couple sessions for Strahd, and that was really cool. And then we took cute photos.
That's where we did the
We actually, I bought this dress while we were there because we were like, I got there before everyone else with McKaylee, and we were like, you know, it would be really cute and cool if we bought
because of course I brought
costumes.
I mean, I already had this full costume and I brought it with me to our trip because I was like, but of course I'm going to dress up. I did. I got stuff for my new character. That we did the first session. So we finished out Curse of Strahd, which was wonderful. I stood on a chair screaming. Lucian fought with us and almost died. He actually did die for a second. Not fun. Let me tell you, I was screaming. And then we had our first session in person, and so I got some costume pieces for my character for that one, which I love that character. She's a ethereal genasi barbarian, path of the beast.
And I am a kobold monk, drunken master. Kobold drunken,
Yes.
Which those characters are also really fucking cool. Maybe we'll talk about those one day.
And those ones are actually friends.
Those ones are actually friends. We've gotten better as making
better at building friends.
Yeah, better at making friends.
You know, the first one, it didn't work out, but we learned a lot from it. The next ones were great. We're actually finishing out that RPG game. Soon, maybe.
Listen. They are. Oh God, they're just really good friends.
They're really good friends.
They're friends in the way that when something exciting happens, you just are screaming back and forth at each other. That's the way that they are friends.
You know what you're saying. Yeah. No, they're good. They're good. Yeah, and then our next characters don't even really know each other. So, you know, we went back a little bit. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But, you know, we don't have any reason to hate each other in the other campaign, so.
No, we don't. We really don't.
Yeah. We don't.
Wild.
Yeah.
Are there any more things that you need to talk about Sven about?
I do want to share. I have in my notes low-key spoiler for Curse of Strahd, though definitely not. I don't have all of my notes, but I have a couple that are just on loose pieces of paper from when I didn't have my notebook. The one is in all caps without context.
Oh my God.
Bitches like Strahd, fuck these hoes. In all caps. And then further down the page, it just says, fuck.
Good.
Bitches like Strahd, fuck these hoes. Fuck. Those are my notes. They're wonderful. And then later, towards the end of the campaign, I don't know why I didn't have my thing for this, but towards the end of the campaign, during our first visit, I wrote, our first visit to the Castle Ravenloft, I wrote, why is it a haunted house? So many props and shit. Is Strahd real? I went on a wild theory time.
Despite the fact that two of the players, the characters, were bitten by Strahd. Despite that, we encountered him twice.
I did stab him once.
Yep.
I know he's a real person. See, the thing is, I know he's a real person.
But is he the Wizard of Oz? Is that the guy behind the curtain? Yeah.
Yes. So I had this. I was the note taker, right? I had all the notes. I was taking note of everything our DM said. Everything. And so it led to little things that started to like piece together where it was like, oh yeah, there's some skeletons. They're just being hung up by like strings or whatever, I guess. And then like, you know, stuff like that where she was just kind of like, you know, there's just things there. And I was like a plot thread and I pulled on it and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I decided that it was all fake. Nothing was real. We were probably on drugs. And the Castle Ravenloft was fake. It was all like like mechanically operated just to like seem scary and like keep people away. And Strahd was just this big like hoax that kind of was, you know, everybody like either was in on it or was like fucking tricked by it, where they were like, yeah, Strahd, he's terrifying and terrible, but like he'd never done shit. He couldn't do shit. Which when he showed up the one time, I didn't meet him the first time he ran into our party. He only met one member of our party. It was at night while the rest of us were asleep. And the second time we ran into him, he came, I stabbed him, he bit someone, and he left. So he was barely there. You know, we barely saw him. He didn't do much. I was like, maybe he's just like fucking around. Like, I don't know. Not real. It's all a conspiracy. And that is what I decided in the last couple sessions of our campaign.
Yeah, and that the castle was a fun house. But like a haunted house. The castle's
a fun house.
A fun...
Why the fuck? There were like fake weapons and shit laying around, and then there was this was, the DM said afterward, this is like from the book, there were skeletons dressed up and just like being hung up with strings. Like, why'd you do that? Why don't you just leave them on the ground? Why the fuck are you hanging them up? And because also skeletons, like once the muscle and sinew get like decomposed, like they don't stay together. You had to like string them up together to make them hang like that and be all one piece. Like, somebody put fucking work into that. Why?
Listen, I'm not gonna suggest an alternative because good questions. I don't know.
It's, I had a lot of time on my hand at this point in quarantine, and I spent most of it thinking about this game, thinking about this character, building this fucking outfit.
There's so many things that we could continue to talk about with Strahd because we missed so many things, but of course we did because that was about a year long. I think we did it about a year because we consistently every week the most consistent D&D campaign I've ever seen in my life. In my life. Once a week.
I think it was fueled by quarantine and online classes. We met once a week, every week on Wednesdays. Yeah. And then we started meeting on Thursdays too, because we started a new campaign. Mm-hmm. So we met twice a week, every week for a fucking year. What a time, man. What a time.
Loved it. Very good. And now we're here. Once a week. Maybe twice a week.
Sometimes.
Like this week.
Like this week.
Hold on, McKaylee. I think we're done talking about these characters. Do you want to transition back? Transition back?
Sure. Transition back. Yes, let's transition back.
All right.
To the same place.
Hey now. Are you ready? Are you ready, McKaylee?
I'm ready.
And go. All right, we're back. Wow, what a transition.
What a transition. The best we've ever had.
The best we've ever had. They'll just keep getting better. Yeah. But yeah, we are gonna be here tomorrow. We'll be doing a one-shot. It will be
2-person one-shot.
One-on-one one-shot.
One-on-one shot. It'll be good. It's gonna be a time. Who knows what it's gonna be like?
I don't know.
Not me.
Great. I'm glad to know that you are the DM.
This is why I can't DM anymore, because I don't plan shit till the day of. I'm the worst at planning. I think get ready.
It's nice to improvise,
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, the day of is in the morning. Like, I'm not gonna be like, it's gonna be planned. It's just gonna be planned tomorrow.
I am excited. And I'm gonna be one of the characters we made.
Yep. It'll be good.
Do you want to know which character?
Are you gonna say? Which character is it, Claire?
Well, yeah, because you're here on stream. I feel like you deserve to know before we post on Instagram tomorrow.
That's true. We are going to be posting on Instagram what character we're playing. But, Claire, tell us what character you're going to be playing.
I
can't wait. The
suspense. Well, she's really cool. And they are so small. And
so small.
And they are on a quest, as anybody is. That one's not very helpful, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure.
And they kill people.
So do a lot of our characters. Okay.
And their name.
This is terrible.
It's a good name.
It's a great name.
Like most of our characters.
A
I will be playing our life cleric Doodle tomorrow in a one-shot.
Yes, she's gonna be going on a wonderful little quest. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
But tune in tomorrow, regular time, to see. And then also tomorrow, we're gonna be announcing our plans for the month of October, which, as we said earlier, will include our really awesome fucking DM. So you'll get to meet her.
Will include
if you don't already know her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll announce all that excitingness tomorrow, either before or after the chaos of our first one shot on live on stream. Oh boy.
What a fun time for a one shot tomorrow at 7 p.m. CST. It'll be so good.
5 p.m.
Surprised.
PST.
Can I just say I'm surprised that we talked about characters for 3 hours.
I'm surprised we didn't talk about our characters longer, honestly. I have more to talk about. I also, just last note, Sven has tattoos that go all across her. She has full sleeve tattoos. I have notes on what every single tattoo is and on what they mean. I have plenty of art about that. I love my character.
I think we could just talk for so much longer, but we won't do that because
yeah, I think everyone's tired now of hearing our long rant about these wonderful characters.
Yeah, well, we hope you enjoyed at least some of it.
Yes. Also, thank you for hanging out while we did the stream that was only, it was for us and us only.
Yeah, this was really just so that we could reminisce on our favorite characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably honestly gonna hang out in this outfit for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Probably.
Just kind of chill, freak my roommate out.
Great. Love that for you.
It's not very often that I get to dress up as my lovely Sven Dwinnell. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, plus it's a bit earlier over here on the West Coast.
That's true. I guess we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's gonna be so
fun. We'll see. Yeah. It's gonna be a great time. Please come hang out with us and help me get through the chaos.
Woo! All right. Have a good one.
Yes. Wherever you are.
Whatever time of day it is. We hope we hope it's really good.
Have a good night, y'all. Or morning or day or one. Have a good one.
Goodbye. Good night. Good day.
Bye. Good night.